Hi, this is MJ from Genshin Support Club, and welcome to the second video in my new guide series for mobile players. As a mobile-only player myself, it's important to me to support other players toiling away on their phones, and share what I've learned over the course of my Genshin journey, especially with those who may be new to the game. In my first video, I provided an overview of what I think are some of the most challenging aspects of mobile gameplay, as well as my take on the best mechanics and easiest workarounds for those issues. In this first follow-up video, I'll be taking a closer look at a few specific characters and their unique mechanics as a workaround for mobility issues on mobile. Sounds ironic, doesn't it? But as I mentioned in my first video, one of the challenges of mobile gameplay is that most of us are controlling multiple buttons with a single thumb, which means there's always a slight delay between each action we can take, whether it's jumping, dashing, or using our various attack skills. Additionally, with no tactile feedback, every time we have to move from one button to another, there's a reasonable chance for error, even for veteran players. I often feel as a mobile player that I'm traveling through molasses to get to the enemy in Genshin, especially in timed content such as the Abyss, where the lower frame rate most phones comfortably support creates the sense that we have no time at all to reach each foe. Fortunately, there are a few characters in the game with mechanics specifically geared towards delivering us straight to the enemy, or vice versa, who can make closing that distance feel much less painful, even in Abyss. Again, this video is just one mobile player's opinion, based on my own experiences in-game. If any of the difficulties I've discussed are things you've easily conquered, rest assured that this video was not made for you. But if you're a struggling mobile player looking for ways to have a more pleasant experience with the game's fun and complex combat system, keep watching. The character I'll talk about first is the original Electro Queen, Keqing. Though her popularity dropped off after the first 6 months or so of the game, she's enjoyed a recent resurgence thanks to the power of dendro reactions. This is good news for mobile players, because her unique ability to use both her elemental skill and burst to travel directly to the enemy is beyond compare. Casting Keqing's elemental skill is a two-part process. Tap once to release a lightning stiletto, which deals electro damage to a nearby opponent. Tap a second time to teleport directly to that opponent, covering a relatively large distance, where Keqing can continue to pummel the enemy with her strong, normal, and even stronger charged attacks. You can also hold the skill button to target a specific enemy or location and teleport with a second tap, which can assist in exploration as well as combat, or allow Keqing to perform a plunge attack without any special jumping abilities. As a mobile player, I tend to use the double tap most often to swiftly jump from enemy to enemy without having to stop to aim, and with a short 7.5 second cooldown, by the time Keqing has finished taking out one enemy, her skill is available to jump immediately to the next one. Meanwhile, her elemental burst is this skill on steroids, sending Keqing flying at literal lightning speed across a wide AoE, hitting multiple targets in rapid succession before unleashing a final, powerful strike at the animation's end. With a low energy cost of 40 and a 12-second cooldown, this burst is easily one of the most accessible in the game. With the combination of both her skill and burst, Keqing is a teleporting, eye-framing super monster. And though she's been power crept by other Electro units in several ways over the course of the game's first 2 years, she remains at the top of my list of mobile-friendly units for these abilities alone. But if Keqing is queen of delivering us to the enemy, the undisputed king of delivering the enemy to us is Animo powerhouse Kazuha. First introduced to us about 9 months into the game, Katahara Kazuha became a favorite of players on every platform, both for his powerful crowd control abilities and his euphoric playstyle. Though other Animo units like Venti and Sucrose have their own powerful methods of crowd control, Kazuha's is unique in that it pulls nearby enemies directly to us, rendering the dreaded dash utterly obsolete, while his passive talents absorb elements to deal extra damage and boost the damage of other party members. Both the tap and hold will achieve this effect, dealing slightly different amounts of damage and increasing both ease of combat and our fun, all in one go. There's a reason many players consider Kazuha one of the game's few must-pull characters, and it's hard to disagree. He's a staple in my Abyss runs and in exploration teams, providing utility and raw power in equal amounts. He's also incredibly versatile, adding value to nearly any type of team composition, from reaction teams to freeze comps. I don't like to recommend 5-star constellations as a rule, and C0 Kazuha is already one of the most valuable units in the game, especially for mobile players. But given the topic at hand, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that his C1 both reduces his skill's already short cooldown and resets it anytime he performs his burst, making it quickly available even when using its longer hold version. So if you're the type of player who prefers to go for character constellations over new units, this might be one to consider. And if that wasn't enough, he reduces sprinting stamina for everyone, just by being in the party. Of course, if you've been playing the game for a while, there's a chance you have both these characters, so for maximum effect, why not play Keqing and Kazuha together? There are other characters in the game with abilities that move directly to the enemy, though none who can cover the same distance as either Keqing or Kazuha. Ayato comes the closest, as his elemental skill allows him to repeatedly travel to the enemy, performing rapid hydro attacks, though he can't travel nearly as far as Keqing. But especially coupled with a crowd-controlled unit like Kazuha, Sucrose, or Venti, it's easy to make the most of what he can do. Rosaria's charged attack moves her directly behind the enemy, which can be useful as well, though this ability covers only about half the distance as Keqing's skill. Ultimately, it's not much more useful in this respect than any other polearm user. Jean's elemental skill is unique as well, though after it pulls the enemy towards us, it subsequently sends them hurtling away. Creative players can use environmental barriers or those created by other characters, such as the Geo-Traveler or Zhongli, to keep the enemies contained, and Zhao's elemental skill is just as likely to move right past the enemy, requiring the player to double back afterwards. Though the convenience and accessibility of mobile gameplay undeniably comes with its share of mostly unavoidable challenges, the fact that a game as complex and beautiful as Genshin Impact is available to play on a smartphone continues to feel magical to me and many other mobile players, and I'm grateful to Hoyoverse for making that happen. I hope that the experiences and tips I share in this series can help other mobile players achieve their goals more easily and enjoy the game to its fullest potential. That said, I'll leave one more reminder that this entire series is, and will continue to be, created out of the experience of just one mobile player. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe for updates when the next installment is released. If you'd like to share your own experiences as a mobile player, or if there's any mobile challenge in particular you'd like me to address, please leave a comment. You can also catch up with me on Twitter at @WhatKaya_said. If you'd like to hang out and watch me play on my own mobile account, I stream Genshin Impact every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at twitch.tv/Genshin Support Club. Good luck, mobile players, and see you next time.